Did you know that so many celebrities can actually speak French? I'm French, I live in Paris, and today we're gonna check out a few videos of celebrities speaking French, and we're gonna rate their level from 0 to 10. 10 will only be for the people who are so good that I would think they are actually from France. And let me tell you, there's quite a few people who really impressed me. Then 0 will be for total gibberish, like, you know, if they're sounding like Joey from the TV show Friends.
Je m'appelle!
Mais Poupou!
Alright, let's first listen to Bradley Cooper. I really love his movies, but I never knew he could actually speak French. So here he's on a French TV show to talk about his movie A Star is Born, where he sings with Lady Gaga.
Vous savez pas chanter, si?
Non, non, j'ai jamais. Peut-être j'ai pas essayé en français.
Essayez en français.
Oui. Désolé si j'ai fait
Non,
le
non,
fond,
c'est parfait.
mais
Love this. He's taking his earpiece off and he's gonna do the interview only in French, no translation in his ear. So let's see what happens.
on est en France.
Oui, oui.
Je dois pratiquer la langue.
Comment vous faites pour avoir ce niveau de français?
J'ai étudié à Aix-en-Provence.
Oui, alors ça je le savais, mais c'était quand?
Ah, c'était longtemps, hein.
Bah oui.
Ouh là là.
Mais alors comment vous
J'avais,
gardez ce français?
J'habite ici à Paris. Hein. J'ai passé le mois d'août. L'adresse, c'est. Non,
Et vous prenez des cours?
pas encore, mais j'ai fait mes études pendant 6 mois là-bas.
He is such a good communicator. He's in his 50s. He learned French as a student.
J'ai pas inquiété à faire de défauts. Hein. Tu sais, je peux communiquer. Hein. Je sais que mon grammaire, c'est débile.
Yeah, that's his secret. So what he just said makes no sense grammatically, but we all understand him. That's what I find so cool about him. He's really focused on communicating and not on being perfect or not making mistakes. And it really shows because he's so fluent in French. And you know, being confident and not being afraid of making mistakes is the best mindset when you're learning a language. And we're gonna see that in that next clip when he speaks about Lady Gaga and almost makes a very funny mistake.
Mais elle est une actrice incroyable en fait. Elle a un cœur. Ouais, j'ai dit corps toujours.
Cœur ou corps?
Cœur.
Elle a les deux, hein.
So I think you got it, but when you speak French, your pronunciation can change everything. So here he wants to say Lady Gaga has a nice heart, which is cœur in French, but he almost said Lady Gaga has a nice body, which is corps in French. And I really love how he just knows it and avoids it. And you know, most people would feel super awkward making that mistake, but he just avoids it perfectly because he's so confident when he speaks. So what Bradley Cooper is showing us is that we can't really rate people only on grammar. Like if you rate him only for grammar, he's maybe a 6 out of 10, but he communicates so well and he's just such a part of the conversation that I have to give him an 8 out of 10. And I feel this is really the most important thing because when you're learning a language, you're doing that to communicate with others, not to be perfect. So from now on, in our ratings, we're also going to include how well someone can communicate. And someone who does that really well is Taylor Swift. One thing I love about her is how she learns a few words in the languages of every country she goes to. I love that because it's super respectful both to the local culture and to her fans. But let's hear how well she does in French.
Merci beaucoup! Je m'appelle Taylor!
So obviously you can tell that she has just learned that for her show and that she doesn't fully speak French yet, but she's actually doing pretty good. And you know, while we can obviously understand her very well, you can tell that it's just memorized, so I'm gonna give her 1 out of 10. But before you come for me, you seriously need to understand that it's all you need when you're traveling. Like if you just learn the basics like hello and thank you, you'll absolutely be fine. Also, Taylor has learned some really helpful expressions because she was able to ask for help in French at a show when one of her fans fainted.
Aidez-les, s'il vous plaît. Aidez-les, s'il vous plaît, there.
Alright, so our next person is Timothée Chalamet. And I've personally been a fan since Call Me By Your Name, but you might have seen him in Dune or in Wonka. And also he has the most French name possible. So it came to no surprise to me when I learned that his dad is actually French. And that growing up, he used to spend his summers visiting his grandparents in a tiny French town called Chambon-sur-Lignon, which is in the middle of nowhere and feels very, very French. So first, let's watch one of his older interviews that's fully in French. And then I'll also show you one that's more recent because he has made so much progress and it's so impressive.
Je trouve que mon côté français, ça m'aide à avoir, je sais pas, une autre perspective sur l'industrie Hollywood et ma vie américaine, je sais pas. Et de l'autre côté aussi. Je me trouve plutôt français quand je suis aux États-Unis, et plutôt américain quand je suis en France.
Obviously, in his interview, his French is really good. You know, he says stuff that a native speaker would say. He's like, je sais pas. You know, stuff that you would say like as a filler word. But if I had to rate him in that interview, I'd give him an 8 out of 10 because he has a really good accent. He obviously is very fluent in French, but you can tell he's not from here. However, Timothée Chalamet has done a lot of work because this was an interview from like 2 years ago. His most recent French interview, he is so good. So let's watch it together. In this video, he speaks about Bob Dylan because he recently played him in a movie, which I really recommend, by the way.
Si vous êtes déjà fan de Bob Dylan, vous saviez que c'est un artiste très mystérieux, difficile à comprendre.
Timide.
Ouais, timide d'un côté.
He's so good.
Et c'est un des artistes rares des années 60, quand on pense à Paul McCartney, ou Mick Jagger, ou Elvis Presley. Bob Dylan, c'est quelqu'un qu'aujourd'hui même on comprend à peine.
I love how much progress he has made. This one is really impressive. You can really tell he's been working so hard on his accent. And you know, if I heard him in real life, I would think he's from France at first. But then there's a few tiny giveaways. When he speaks about Paul McCartney, Mick Jagger, and Elvis Presley, he says it with a perfect American accent. When if you're a French person, you would say Paul McCartney, Elvis Presley, and Mick Jagger. You would say it with a big French accent. And we do that for every single English word like parking, email, or meeting. That's just how we do it. If you want to be considered native, you have to do it. It's ridiculous, but that's how it is. Alright, so here I'm gonna give him a 9 out of 10. And that's only because I have someone to show you later who is so good that I actually thought they were French until pretty recently. And before we move forward, I wanted to tell you about today's sponsor, Typology. Typology is a French skincare brand, and all their products are made in France with only the best ingredients. I've been using their products for 6 months now, and I've really been loving their tinted trio, which not only gives you that extra boost in the moment, but also treats your skin for the long run. The most obvious example for me is their concealer. I always have really big dark circles under my eyes, and this works magic, both in hiding them, but also in reducing them. I also love their lip oil, which I've been wearing throughout the video. It's always the perfect finishing touch if I'm going out and want to look extra nice because it's so subtle. Their tinted serum is pretty cool too because it feels super light and it contains both vitamin C for a glowy look and aloe vera for hydration. At the moment, they are offering a free shimmering oil with every purchase over $40, so it's the perfect opportunity to try high quality French skincare. So our next one is Lilly Collins, and I was so curious to hear her speak French because I love the show Emily in Paris. And in this show, she basically plays someone who's terrible with languages and cultures. And then there's this super funny scene where she sends an apology letter to another character in pure gibberish. And when I heard that Lilly Collins had actually spent a lot of time in France and really loved the French culture, I was very curious to hear her speak French, and I didn't find too many clips of her doing so. But I found this one, so let's watch it together.
Vous allez nous parler français.
Un peu, mais je suis très fatiguée tout le temps et je n'ai pas la confiance de parler français tout le temps.
Super.
I try, I don't know.
So first, let me tell you that her French is perfectly fine. It's not at all gibberish.
Merci. Have a bonne journée.
But she does feel like she lacks confidence, and she mentions it later in the interview. And I feel that's like the main thing that keeps people from learning languages. Like at some point you just need to be okay making mistakes, even though it might be awkward or funny. But I do feel for Lilly Collins because people are gonna be harder on her just because of Emily in Paris. So I have to admit that I've done a lot of research on her for this video, and my personal theory is that her French is way better than she lets out, because in all the other French interviews she has done, she seems to understand everything. So she's maybe at this stage where she can understand a lot, but she doesn't feel comfortable speaking too much. And for that, I'm gonna have to give her 2 out of 10, just because I want to hear her speak French more. And one thing I'd recommend if you're scared of speaking a new language is to just focus on having fun with it. And this is something that Lisa from Blackpink or the White Lotus does really well.
Bisous.
Bonjour bébé. La galette des rois. Bonjour énergie. Mon album est Vous malade. Profitez bien de mon album.
She has the cutest accent when she speaks French. I love, love, love that she learned fun French slang. Like she says that her album is fou malade, which is kind of like her album is sick. It's not really something I would say, but if someone said it to me, I would laugh 100%. And you know, you can just tell that she's having fun with the language, which I love and makes total sense for her because she already speaks so many languages like Korean, Thai, English, and I think a few others. In any case, she has a great mindset. From what I've heard, her French is still at a 1 out of 10 now, but she has everything it takes to increase it in the future. All right, our next person is iconic tennis player Serena Williams. So she started learning French because she wanted to win the French Open and speak French there when she won. And she got to do that 3 times. So it was a pretty good investment. And French people really love her because you can really tell she values the culture. She always speaks in French to the public, and also she gives interviews in French like this one.
Comment tu dis fier? Peur. Peur. Peux-tu mon carrière? Je n'ai pas peur.
I love that the one word she doesn't know is fear. Pretty cool to be asking that on national TV. And you can tell that French is really important to her because she does speak French with her kids as well at home. And another person that was exposed to French from a young age is Emma Watson. So we all know who she is. But what we don't know about her is that she was actually born in Paris and lived in France until age 5. So a while ago she was on French TV, and the interviewer asked her about her French heritage. So let's see what she has to say.
J'ai habité en France pendant 5 ans. Je suis née à Paris. Mes parents travaillaient comme avocate pendant 8 ans.
So here she's pretty good. You can tell that it feels a bit memorized, but she's so great at it. And from this interview, I'm gonna give her a 5 out of 10. She definitely speaks the language, but she's not yet at the level of the next few people I'm gonna show you. All right, so next we have Audrey Hepburn, who is iconic in so many ways, but today we're gonna focus on language. She has lived in so many different countries. She spoke so many different languages, and she was born in Belgium.
Permettez-moi de vous dire, Audrey Hepburn, que vous parlez très bien français.
Vous êtes trop gentil, merci.
Est-ce que c'est parce que vous êtes née à Bruxelles?
J'espère que c'est la raison, oui.
She has such a beautiful voice when she speaks French. Her accent is like so nice. It's like almost ASMR to listen to her. So let's keep doing it.
Dites-nous, êtes-vous passé par le théâtre avant d'arriver au cinéma?
Oui, au fond, oui. Je suis commencé mon carrière comme danseuse de ballet. J'ai étudié le ballet pendant des années. J'ai dansé à Londres.
So here she has a really good accent. It's very fancy. She also makes small mistakes when she speaks. She says je suis commencé instead of j'ai commencé. Doesn't matter, we understand her, she keeps going. And you can tell that she's very familiar with the language. So I'm gonna give her an 8 out of 10. This next one really blew my mind. We're gonna listen to Jodie Foster speaking French, but first I have to admit that I actually thought she was French for most of my life because I first saw her act fully in French in a French movie, so I never questioned it and I just thought she was French.
Les Français, ils aiment bien leur langue. Ouais, c'est tout. C'est la seule raison. Ils aiment bien leur langue et moi aussi. Et c'est une chose que j'apprécie beaucoup, les mots. Moi, j'ai été à un lycée français quand j'ai commencé à l'âge de 9 ans pour apprendre le français.
So I think you can hear it. It is crazy to me that she has both zero accent and also zero family ties to France as far as I know, and that she just learned French from going to a French school. Jodie Foster, she's so special. She's an actress who is fully a household name in France. Everyone loves her. She also does her own voiceovers in French in her movies, and I really admire her because I've been learning English for all my life, and I don't think I could get to this level where people think I am actually from the country. So really impressive.
Moi, la langue, c'est la communication, c'est le contact avec les gens, ça fait partie de ma personnalité de vouloir connecter de cette façon-là. Et je pense que les Français, normalement, ils sont élevés un petit peu comme ça aussi.
Really love what she said. Really appreciate her mindsets toward learning languages. In my experience, and I speak 4 languages, not as good as her for sure, speaking different languages has been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. And I hope you could feel that a bit in this video. So that's all for me today. If you like this video, you should watch one of these next. And I'll see you there. Bye for now.